Potentially would be interested in the 22nd land because Pyre is kind of mana intensive. You have a really grindy deck. Not sure exactly what I want that land to be. And I think you should be main decking Ariok Champion. You said that you're struggling with. This hand is obviously a little sketchy. I think I'm going to keep it rather than go to 5 and then keep on the hopes I draw a land or two. We have a slight cantrip here. Yeah, I would main deck at least the first Ariok Champion. Specifically, Orzhov Enforcer also seems like a card that I feel like 2 feels like a lot. So I'm going to bubble them and see if they're a deck that I'm going to want to hold up turn 1 Lightning Bolt for. Yeah, against Liliana of the Veil, I don't think that's very likely. Although I guess they could play Hexdrinker or something. Did draw the land. Might try to find a room for the 4th Leyline of the Void. Yeah, probably the 2nd Masked Vandal seems pretty cuttable. Is 4-color control of Sprite Dragon, Kotal, Archmage Charm too greedy? There was a time where it wasn't. That time was when Arkham's Astrolabe was legal. But at this point in time, yes, I don't think it's functional. So those are my thoughts. Mono black, maybe? Took the Archmage's Charm. Awesome. Sure thing. I hope that it goes well for you. I really like Pyre of Heroes decks. It's been a while since we've played one, I guess. Was I supposed to put Lurrus in my hand this turn? Have I made a huge mistake by not? I think I have made a huge mistake, huh? So I think I'm discarding Drown. And then I'm not going to want to bolt the Liliana. Oh, I should have fetched. Yeah, because if I draw a land, I'm going to want to Cryptic this turn. Just discard the bolt. Is Geist in a good spot in Modern? Geist is about as good as Geist has always been, which is like fringe playable. Do I do set reviews? I posted a tier list to Twitter. Usually I do set reviews on the Dive Down podcast. I'll like talk about in depth there, but this time around we couldn't figure out a week where the scheduling worked. So instead I posted a tier list to Twitter of all the modern playable cards. So that would probably be good enough, right? I guess I'm going to try to discard the land to Liliana. Notably, Paulo's card should probably be in the fringe playable column. I forgot to add that one. Land would be so good here. Maybe I want to... No, we'll go Lurrus Bauble, let Lurrus get Edicted, and then finish off the Liliana with Sprite Dragon. And I guess if I draw a bolt, I'm going to really want to bolt the Liliana, so I'm going to crack the Bauble now. They're drawing a Shambling Vents. Will I do a YouTube video on it? No. Like, I probably should, but I spend so much time on stream talking about the new cards, and especially when the set comes out, I do nothing but play the new cards. I just don't really care to, I guess. What a sick draw. Is Grixis better than Sultai? I'm not sure yet. We're trying to find that out. I think it's got a lot of game. Why not discard the dragon and play the land, Lurrus, Dragon in the yard? Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah. I'm just gonna draw on Earth though. Yeah, if there's any mod in chat who have the time to like link the Twitter post, that'd be cool, I guess. If nobody has time, that's fine as well. I get it. So now I can just draw Snapcaster at some point. Snap Unearth Lurrus. Missed Prowess. I don't think I did. Oh, I did, yeah. Could have Prowess on the Unearth. And then make a command. They're drawing Liliana of the Last Hope. Wow. Never mind, they're not. They could mill over a Souls, but it's just like we did mill over a Souls for them. Gross. Honestly, maybe even still like fine, just to have them not draw Last Hope, but unlucky that the one card we milled over was Souls. Does Lumimancer make Mentor playable now? Probably not, but maybe. There is a card that I think is pretty good with Mentor that I've been trying to find. I've been trying to like figure it out. I haven't yet, but there is specifically one newish card that I've been wanting to play with Mentor. I guess why I'm not keeping it secret. Showdown of the Scalds is kind of interesting with Monastery Mentor. Being a white card advantage card that plays well with go white strategies. And I actually have a list built now that I think about it. I mean, this deck just looks worse to me than Blue-Red Prowess, but Showdown and Bauble both trigger Mentor and Sprite Dragon, and like playing a lot of 0 mana spells like Bauble, Manamorphose 4 seems good with Showdown. I don't know. This kind of seems like, you know, a basic bad blue deck. But really fun at the same time. Four mana card draw doesn't seem like a combo with Mentor. I think I disagree. But that's fine. We can agree to disagree. It's like Mentor is so soft to removal, and then like the Showdown's like pretty good against 1-for-1s. It's also kind of the thing. Have I tried the deck? No, I don't think it's good. I mean, I don't think that deck's good, but I do think that Showdown is good with Mentor. But I don't think that specific build is quite there. So I'm gonna push the Shambling Vents, but I'm gonna let them attack first. We can drown the Bob. Have I ever brewed around for Clever Lumimancer? I put that card, I think, on my might get there list, and when I was doing my tier list of the Strixhaven cards. Oh, Clever Lumimancer. How did I forget that? Yeah. I'm gonna be playing with I'm gonna be playing some like some more basic builds for the card at first, and then I'm gonna try a few more out there variants. I think that's what we're probably doing Thursday, because Lumimancer is an uncommon. I think that card's gonna be a little easier to get compared to some of the rares that I'm gonna be trying to brew with. But tune in this Thursday for Strixhaven action. And maybe Wednesday if I can actually get a early access account, but no promises on that one. Yeah, I think I want to keep the Hardcast Force up. It's pretty bad for us if they just like rip a removal spell. What's my thought on the Plant Wall? I put that in the fringe playable section. I think that card's actually really good. I think that card's like an excellent sideboard card against red decks, and also like a wall you can sacrifice to like discard draw even if you don't have a learn sideboard. I think it's still playable. I mean, this was their top deck, and they didn't have a removal spell for Sprite Dragon last turn, I'm assuming, so I don't think that they have one now. So I'm going to go ahead and Cling to Dust, and I might find a counter spell. Although maybe I should. I guess I can't leave up Drown this way. Could draw a Logic Knot. Yeah, but I like that card a lot. I don't think it's gonna be a crazy good card. I don't think it's gonna change too much, but I guess I should have just kept up the hardcast force for the sword. I don't kind of, yeah. I was thinking that they obviously wouldn't play it into all this open mana, but if we tap out, we don't have all this open mana, so kind of stupidly lucky we just drew a blue card, I guess. So they're dead to us drawing a 1-mana removal spell because we have the Cling to Dust. Man, Cling to Dust is so good. This card is just absurd. I'm kind of surprised you just don't see it all that often. You see it a decent amount, but I don't think you see Cling to Dust as often as you should in Modern. They have to chump block, otherwise they die. Cling to Dust is the new Uro. Yeah, I think the first Cling to Dust is really good in Esper. I know, it's fine. Yindrik has, like, put so much work into the Esper deck that I just... I'll be playing Esper when Strixhaven comes out. There are, like, new Esper cards I want to try, but at least for, like, this format, I've just been... I like Yindrik's stream a lot. I like the way Yindrik plays Esper. I like Yindrik's list. So I just haven't been thinking about it too much. Don't think about it too much. Oh, wow. They have exactly 7 in their yard after 4 Cling to Dusts. 5 Cling to Dusts, actually. The old 14/14 Sprite Dragon, huh? It's pretty good. I would say that this matchup seems to be favorable, huh? Let's bring in the second Unearth. Explosives to deal with Souls token seems kind of good. Maybe we'll play 1 or 2 Force. Yeah, I think I'll play 1 Force, 2 Thought Scour. Maybe we'll play 1 Thought Scour and play like the third push too. They're a Bob deck. They're a Stoneforge deck. Cut a land? I think so. We've got a bunch of 4 drops in our deck, you know. We have Lurrus. Like Lurrus just kind of wants you to be, you know, hitting all your land drops anyways. I don't like Protector too much. Which card is Protector? I don't know almost any of the new names. I can keep this. The 2/2 hate barrier counters abilities unless they pay 2. That's the isn't it a 1/3? I mean, I think that card's like maybe an okay sideboard card in some metagames. But it's like not better than like Torpor Orb or like the 1/3 probably most decks. Like, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm not super high on that. Do I think about 1 Valky? Yeah, I think Valky's bad. I did think about it. In fact, like I've seen other people play these decks. I've seen God's Shadows version. A lot of people have been sending me lists, like a Grixis variant of the Sultai deck, which is what this is. And I just don't, like, Valky and Jace are so mediocre, and then Sprite Dragon's so good. Just, you know, let's all move away from our pet cards and play Sprite Dragon, which I guess is also kind of my pet card, if we're being honest. But it's a good pet card. Oh, I didn't realize the 1/3 was a spirit. Although it does counter like a lot of like spirits triggers though, so I guess I'm not even crazy about it there. I'm gonna cycle the Unearth. Oh, glad I cycled Unearth. No, I believe the 1/3 is symmetrical. I could be wrong. It's not uncommon at all for people to misread new cards. Especially me, who can barely read as it is, you know? I will draw a land. I mean, I will draw a Cryptic Command. Or when chat's just inciting out of land. I'm a little choked on black mana potentially, but actually let's just use our 2-for-1 now. Use all of our mana. Pretty scared of this Castle Loch Dwayne, honestly. Ugh. I didn't put Silver Quill Silencer. Please tell me what the cards do. I know none of the names. I know what the cards do. I don't know the names. So tell me what that one is. The only card that I know that I forgot to put on the list, though, is Paulo's card. I think Paulo's card is fringe playable in Modern. The Bad Meddling Mage. Yeah, the Bad Meddling Mage, I think that card is a Bad Meddling Mage. And Meddling Mage exists in Modern, and I think that that card is unplayable, actually. The more I've thought about it, I've come to the decision that I think that card is unplayable. I could be wrong, but maybe I should have put an unplayable tier. It's good to just cycle a Cryptic here. They do take 4 damage. Yeah, there's no way Sprite Dragon survives if we get to attack. I think that people suggesting Storm variants with the new Prowess 1-drop, people suggesting playing like Ground Rift, Flusterstorm to packs. Even I've seen people suggesting playing packs, like Pact of Negation, Intervention Pact, Pact of the Giant. I do not think that that is going to be the natural evolution of these decks. No. Yeah, I just don't want to let them get to use their mana here. We can maybe go Bolt, Snap, Bolt, end of turn. Maybe get to use our Drowns. Let me just go Snap Archmage's Charm. How does this list feel compared to Sultai? It's very similar. Specifically, Sprite Dragon feels like a better 2-drop than any 2-drop Sultai gets to play, and can even make up for some of the card advantage that you're missing out from Icebang by just playing some Into the Story. Oh, they have Kaya's Guile. It's kind of a beating. I'm going to drown it, though. I'm going to save the push for Sprite Dragon Prowess Trigger. I think this is the time. I was saying something. Yeah. So the two decks are very close, and it's too early to tell. But they both have their strengths and weaknesses. Why no Reflecting Pool? I only like Reflecting Pool. I mean, not only, but I usually prefer Reflecting Pool in decks that get a Triome, and I've forgotten to print the Grixis Triome into existence. I have forgotten to complain on Twitter hard enough until they print the Grixis Triumph for me. So, sorry about that. That being said, I think it might be fine to play one. Yeah, Bant Triumph, Esper Triumph, Jund Triumph, Grixis Triumph are all Triumphs I want. I don't care if they don't print the Naya one. Ooh, Inquisition's actually really good for them here. Blue Red Prowess will now become White Red Prowess. Maybe. Like, the White Red Prowess decks get to play Lurrus, and they're going to be a lot faster, and they get that grindy element from Lurrus, which is really nice. But they become way more vulnerable to Fatal Push and Skyclave Apparition in a way that Blue Red Prowess gets to dodge with Stormwing, which is part of the reason why Izzet is so powerful. So it's going to be very interesting to see what direction the Prowess list evolve. And I know we're all waiting, and we're going to be playing some Prowess when we can get our hands on some cards. They've chosen the wrong Doomblade, I think. I think they've chosen the wrong Doomblade, chat. All because of that one white red drop, it'll change that much. Well, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that red-white is definitely going to be the preferred Prowess variant. That being said, the white 1-drop is better than Soulscar Mage by a good margin. In fact, that card, like on turn 1, that card is going to be incredibly powerful. Is Sprite Dragon the modern Delver we always wanted? Yes. Although I will say that the very unique thing about Delver of Secrets has always been that it costs 1 mana. You know, that's always actually been the true strength of Delver. I'm gonna Bauble myself first. There's a Scalding Tarn on top, so we can draw that with the Goblin Guide. Let's see what they're drawing. Is it possible to... Oh no, we're drawing that off the Bauble. Oh man. They're drawing Inspiring Vantage. Well, I think I'm gonna Thought Scour them this turn. Jeskai, yeah, you can play Jeskai Prowess. Like, it's not that hard to just play like 10 or 11 red fetch lands and play 2 Steam Vents and play 2 Steam Vents and play like 3 of each sack land, maybe like 2 mountains. That might be too many lands, but my point is you can splash pretty easily. Sadness goes on the stack. Delver is some spicy tech. I absolutely agree. Best card in Modern. Genius 1-drop. And, you know, unironically, or as the kids might say, no cap. Do I want to Thought Scour over the Cryptic? I think I do. As the kids might say, no cap. Delver of Secrets is very unique in the fact that it is the only 1-mana threat in Modern that plays well with counterspells. I think. I guess there's actually Thieves Guild Enforcer too. Which is not... I mean, neither card is like that good, but that is why you would play Delver. I think I'm going to go Thought Scour plus Drown here. Or sorry, Thought Scour plus Bolt. Luminous Immunogenic Growth and Boros Charm is pretty disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna have some crazy turn 2s. Is there a Delver Sprite Dragon deck in Modern? Yeah, people have played them, and they're basically always worse than just regular Sprite Dragon decks. Cling to Dust on top. Oh boy, do I want to draw that. Milled over 2 creatures. Well, this was the blue-black filter land. We're down to 7. That's a pretty good draw, though. So we're probably going to go Snap Bolt on Swift Spear this turn. Yeah, them not casting Boros Charm is so good for us. I think I'm just going to do this now. That being said, we're not very likely to beat 2 instant speed burn spells to save Swift Spear anyways. But we lose to Boros Charm burn spell, and we're pretty live against basically anything besides that this turn. Yeah, I think you could maybe play the second Cling in the 75. I really like Cling to Dust. In fact, like, I've played a lower to the ground variant of this deck a bunch. Oh, I didn't even see that they had Lurrus. I've played a lower to the ground variant of this deck a bunch, and I do tend to prefer, or I have played 2 Cling to Dust in that deck. Won't people be scared to go all in with Mutagen Gross in the white 1-drop because there's much Fatal Push right now? Well, people already play blue-red Prowess with like a bunch of Mutagenic Growths in the main, and so it's just not going to be that different. And you only get to play 4 Fatal Push in your deck anyways. So no Skullcrack is really nice for us. Oh, I should have fetched first because I could have milled over the Blood Crypt that I'm trying to fetch right now. Things are going well, Tom Tom. Thanks for checking in. They didn't cast anything? I think I'm just going to leave up 4 mana for Cryptic or Cling. Isn't this game 1? Yeah, people main deck Skullcrack. I don't know what the confusion is. I don't know what I said that made it imply this isn't game 1. We know they have Lurrus in their hand. I think I'm just going to let this go. Maybe not. Yeah, never mind. I think it's actually better to Cryptic. Yes, they get a 2-for-1 with Lurrus, but they tap out. We can just go, push Drown, and they do get a very meaningful 2-for-1 off Lurrus. That didn't cost them a card in their hand. Yeah, if you fatal push your own Snapcaster in response to Searing Blades, it doesn't stop the damage, which I'm sure not everybody in chat knew. Esper just got Sideboard twice from these. So I actually think the 2-mana exile target monocolored permanent is main deckable, but like is like a 2-of maybe. But that card I think is pretty main deckable. I could maybe have also played Dragon here, but I kind of like just not having... I kind of like keeping a counterspell up the whole game at this point. Especially with Cling to Dust in the graveyard. Cling to Dust gives you a lot of inevitability. Did I think I'd ever do a review of all the 2-mana situational spells? Honestly, that sounds miserable to me. I don't know. There's a lot of like stuff that goes into content creation that is just such a drag. Like full set reviews take like, it's like a 4-hour recording or something like that to really go into depth. And it's also like not content that usually even does well. There's honestly like usually it's a very small fraction of your viewer base who wants to see a full set review or will actually watch it. And it's not very fun. Doesn't seem very fun to do it, especially not do it by yourself. I like to do it the Dive Down podcast when we can make scheduling work, but just sitting by myself and talking for 4 hours without engaging with chat just sounds miserable. And so I think I'm not going to do it. I'm an MTGA user, not a streamer, not a content creator. Yeah, think of on-scene content hours, set prepping. Yeah, exactly. Like it's also like, yeah, it's definitely also the amount of time you spend prepping. I mean, I already do a ton of stream prep. I do a lot of stream prep, so just like also like extra off stream prep seems tough. You might have Modern Horizons might have a full set review. Yeah, I'll be doing more effort on Modern Horizons. I don't know, like I did this tier list Twitter post, right? Just of like what I think of all the playable modern cards, but of all the cards in Strixhaven, of all the cards in Strixhaven, I think 6 of them are good modern cards. 6 of them are fringe playable. 7 of them I might see play in some decks at some point. Oh, sorry. I think 7 are fringe payable. I think Paulo's card should be like right about here or like right about here. But I forgot to add it. And then these are like 5 fun bad cards that I'll probably put in some decks and, do some losing with. And I don't know. For a full set review to include all the other cards sounds like a drag. People usually do it on streams. Yeah, but like I would rather just keep the regular stream going rather than do the set reviews on stream. Yeah. Set reviews end up going, this is a draft common. This is a draft common. I don't know. And you guys can also see my actual set reviews when I start streaming with the decks that I think are good. I start streaming with the new cards. That's actually the set review, is just the stream for like the next 2 weeks where I play with all the new cards. But I might make some exception for the Horizons 2 set. I imagine like it's gonna be a huge time for my stream. I'm gonna. Oh wait, when it releases in June? Oh no. Esther has like PTO in June, and when does Horizons release? What's the actual date? Can someone find it out for me? Because we were trying to plan a trip for June, now that I think about it. June 11th. Okay, we'll try to figure it out. She has PTO off on like the 20th or something. Might have to like relegate it to a weekend trip, or maybe I can get her to like push it back to July or something. Because it really is going to be a huge time for the stream. Or maybe I'll just, take some time off and... Anyways, fuck it. Do something. I'll figure it out. I think this is how I want a sideboard. Looks pretty good to me. Neither of us have ever been to New England, so we're thinking about like flying out to like Maine and just like road tripping for like 5 days. Like rent a car, road trip down for 5 days, return the car, and like rent it from a chain and fly back somewhere. Well, I've been to New England, but I've been to like New Jersey, New York, and not really enjoyed it very much. Stream set review from a Bolt, yeah, that'd be awesome. I won't remember any recommendations right now for places to go in New York, but I'll New England. But if the trip gets finalized, I'll ask for recommendations once we start planning. But we haven't like committed to going yet. I've said this a few times. When you are a full-time MTGA user like me, it's hard to take days off. I really think it's hard to take days off when you're streaming. You just lose momentum, and I take off not very many days, and it's hard to have off days too, where it's difficult to, at least in my other jobs, I've been able to just like come in and half-ass some days. I'm just not fucking feeling it. But on stream, it's very difficult to half-ass. It's very difficult to just come up and be low energy. Everyone can see it, everyone can feel it, and just hard to take days off, hard to have off days, I think they're drawing another guide. I mean, I'm gonna bolt this turn off of the Blood Crypt. Yeah, you lose tempo. Couldn't have said it better myself. Great draw. Think I'll have several recordings then when I'm on vacation? No. Maybe. But probably not. Like, if anything, I would take, like, the weekend and then, like, 2 days off or something like that. Rather than actually be off stream for more than 4 days. I have never taken, like, a week off before since I've started streaming. I don't think I'd start anytime soon. Does Magic still feel like a hobby or more like work? I feel both, like I have fun every single time I stream, and it feels like both to me. It's kind of hard to describe. Yeah, it still feels like both. Yeah. I'm already naturally very low energy, so like when I feel bad or when I feel low energy, it's exacerbated, I think chat definitely notices it. I think chat notices you're having an off day, and you start making a bunch of mistakes, and the mistakes are cascading, and people are telling you they're unfollowing and that they hate you, and it's just a lot, You start straw manning chat. My opponent does have 4 spells in their hand, which is kind of a lot, huh? Why do you think people are naturally low or high energy? I don't know. Ask somebody smarter than me, I think. I'm going to counter this. Feels really weird to counter a Mishra's Bauble, but I think it's absolutely correct to take any 1-for-1 at sorcery speed we're offered this game. Take any 1-for-1. Well, I was probably supposed to tap to leave red up. Yeah. I have so many counters and I'm at 7 life. I need to counter anything I'm offered. Maybe I was supposed to put Lurrus in my hand there. Feels like a bit early. I don't know. They put They put Lurrus in their hand. I think I'm gonna go Snapcaster draw 2 with Charm. Why not just counter whatever they draw? What if the thing is they're going to continue to play their burn spells on the end of my turn, you know? They're gonna make me hold up mana and you know, try to tap me out on my end step. So the fact that anything that they cast at sorcery speed has to be countered. Otherwise I'm just losing my mana and I'm gonna lose the game and lose my mind. I'm out of touch. I'm out of time. Sunbait Canyon on top, so they can double spell. Probably. I want to put Lurrus in my hand here. It's possible we just die. I think this is correct though. They have Lurrus, Sunbait Canyon, 4 mystery cards. Attacking is probably wrong. Maybe. If they have 2 1-mana burn spells, we lose. I think I'm okay with that. We had 8 cards in hand because we drew 1 off Bauble. Seal of Fire counts. I guess I was supposed to not have 6 as a force. Oh, this game was winnable. Get to play game 3 on the play though. I've got Thoughtseize in the sideboard for like big mana and combo matchups, but like wanting untapped black mana on turn 1 consistently is a problem in your Archmage's Charm deck, and then counter spells and discard spells don't always play super well together. I think you just better leave them in the sideboard. They're not good top decks usually. Yeah, I think we should have waited a turn. Yeah, I think we messed up. I think it was okay, but I think that no, especially knowing that they were drawing Sunbait Canyon, we should have pumped the brakes a bit. Really hard to know exactly what's right in these positions, but I do think that we didn't take the correct line. We can keep this. Could I elaborate on why they don't play that well together? I mean, this is a question I answer a lot, and I can elaborate, yes. So counter spells are cards that require you to be even or ahead on board for them to be effective usually. Where if you're behind on board and your opponent's hitting you with their creature and you have to spend your turn countering their spell, where your opponent has a card in play that's generating them card advantage, you're just getting behind on board. And that is not great. So it's usually going to be better to and so discard spells are spells that you cast at sorcery speed that do not impact the board. So if you ever like Thoughtseize your opponent and they have 2 cheap spells they can play and they get ahead on board, and you don't have a lot of permanents to put into play to, you know, get even on board, you just have a bunch of counter spells. That's usually why it's a bit awkward. It's obviously not a huge deal. It's not that big of an anti-synergy, but that is why. And also counter spells are really good top decks in the late game, right? The idea is like counter spells, like you're always happy to draw one late because it's just going to answer whatever your opponent draws. But discard spells don't do that. And so to have like those two kind of conflicting game plans can be at ends as well. Irix, I'm sorry your username is all over the place, but thank you for your subscription. I do appreciate it. I don't know what your username is supposed to be though. So if you want me to know, you can tell me, but if not, it's okay as well. Sorry, I clicked my mouse sensitivity on accident. There's a Cascade Bluffs on top. I'm going to keep that. And there are situations where you want to play counter spells and discard spells. This is not a rule that you have to abide by perfectly. But it is I think a decent rule of thumb, you know. Rim? Cool. I'll try to remember. Maybe you remind me again in your second month resubscription message. If we get there. Don't mean to be too presumptuous. Oh man. Could we have played this differently? Maybe we could have. That's a really good draw though. Arid Mesa on top. Yeah, Thoughtseize is usually... The Thoughtseize in my sideboard are against big mana and combo decks mostly, and what's nice is like they come in against every big mana and combo deck, you know. I'm going to bounce there, advantage, draw a card. Gotta use our mana. It's actually a really good draw. Yeah, getting the dragon down. It's a huge game. Spy S212, thank you for your Twitch Prime subscription. Dude, Lurrus is so good in Burn. I can't believe I stopped being at war with the Burn players over this. I can't believe I gave up. Let me just use the most mana intensive card, even though I guess we have Snap Archmage Charm for Lurrus next turn, potentially. He's gonna pitch the Aether Gust. I could pitch the Snapcaster, just cast into the story next turn. It's probably better. Hoping to draw a land I don't have to shock for. Guess that'll do. Getting the dragon to 4/4 is a big game too. There was a war. Yeah, Burn players would tell me that Lurrus was definitely worse than the 15th sideboard card, and then they all unfollowed, and then nobody's argued with me since then. But yeah, everybody was like all the Burn players were really anti-Lurrus. I guess if they go Lurrus Bauble here, it's not that bad for us. Also, like, we can Logic Knot around Eidolon. Yeah. That was the consensus in the Burn community. It's been that consensus since, like, the bannings, really. Or since, like, Burn has been, you know, a played deck. You know, again. People were arguing it really hard in here, and I just gave up, and we called a truce with the Burn players. But like even without Bauble, I think I would definitely play Lurrus, and I think it's like if you have Lurrus, it's good to play with Baubles, especially you're already a Swift Spear deck too, you know. Yeah. Lurrus is not good in every matchup, but the matchups it's good in, it's just absurd and almost free. It just costs you a 15 sideboard card. Like Lurrus is insane against the mirror, and it's really really good against control and mid range decks, you know. This puts them to 9. We attack them for 4. I kind of want to Logic Knot it. I'm not sure. I guess we can just Cryptic tap team and then have Logic Knot up next turn. Actually, this is fine. Yeah, play this tapped. Tap draw with Logic Knot up next turn. And then Logic Knot gets around the Eidolon, which is so sick here. Logic Knot is just better than Counterspell. It's like combos with Shark Typhoon. It counters Drown in the Loch. Card is just better than Counterspell. Sounds great. Am I supposed to get Blood Crypt on turn 1? I think so. It's only really bad if we draw Archmage's Charm, right? Oh, I should get the Grixis Triumph. Tails End or 4 Tron, E-Tron, Niv Mizzet, and Blue-White X control decks. Is the mill matchup bad? Dude, don't surgical my Sprite Dragon. Thank you. Mill matchup it's really bad if they Fatal Push me here. Does their deck even play Fatal Push? I don't even know. Why not Matter Reshaper over Lurrus? We actually are really light on colorless sources, but splashing for Reshaper is probably better than playing Lurrus. So they're shuffling away their top card. I'm just cantripping here to try to draw a different blue card for Force and just keep the other Sprite Dragon. Well, if they could surgical Sprite Dragon in, they could do it in my upkeep, but then I just could never beat that if they had surgical. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna protect this Queen Sprite Dragon. Didn't want to hold a second Bauble for next turn. No. I want to just cycle them and find different blue cards potentially. I think that's better. It's also like kind of likely I'm pitching the other dragon anyways if I don't hit. So, all right, if I do Logic Knot, I'm probably Logic Knotting for most of my graveyard to turn off their Crypt Incursions and their Ancestral Recall. Do I think Splinter Twin could be unbanned in Modern? It could be if Ian Duke said Splinter Twin is unbanned in Modern, but that being said, I don't think it should. I think that as someone who bought into Twin, played one FNM and had it banned, and had my heart broken, and then bought into Miracles and then had that deck banned, I think the format is better without it, and it should not be unbanned. That being said, if they unban it, I'm going to shut my mouth, and I'm not going to play any deck besides Twin on this channel ever again. For those of you who like innovative brews, you'll have to find somebody else to watch. I will only ever play Twin if Twin is unbanned. Sorry about that. Yes, if Splinter Twin if it was still the 2015 version, right? If it was the exact same deck it used to be, it would be fine. But Twin gets to play Archmage's Charm, Force of Negation, Teferi Time Raveler, Veil of Summer, any new good blue card printed, Fatal Push potentially if they're black. It's just too much, you know. And for those reasons, I'm out. They don't have all 6 1-mana removal spells. The crabs are just so good. Yeah. If Twin didn't have the tap make a copy of this creature ability, then it would be fine. Yeah, that is a great shit post. That's one of the best shit posts I've seen on this channel in a long time. Congratulations to you. Yeah, no Reflecting Pool in this deck because no Grixis Triumph. Yeah, Stoneforge 2. It's kind of, I mean, I would definitely clickbait and play Stoneforge Mystic Twin. I'm not sure how good it would be actually, but I think it'd be fine. Do I think new Boros Prowess decks will run Flusterstorm? No. I mean, I will say people will play like the Flusterstorm Ground Rift variants, and they're just not going to be that good. I think. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm definitely not like the prowess aficionado. I would talk to Doomwake about that. But I'm not of the opinion that Flusterstorm is going to be crazy good with Lumimancer. I'll leave the Sprite Dragon in my graveyard for Unearth. I'm just going to exile everything else. I'll leave the Cling too, but maybe I should have even exiled the Cling because of their Ancestor Recall card. Maybe I should have Unearth first. I think it's better to Thoughtseize. Oh, they have 2 visions? Wow. Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to... I mean, you can. I guess I could have brought in like the second Thoughtseize and been a 61 card deck, but you're not supposed to just bring in your whole sideboard and have like Jailer, Aether Gust. Yeah, I guess you know some of these cards are more reasonable, but nah. Like your land spell ratio is weird. Wasn't it better to take 1 vision? I don't think so. I'm just gonna try to kill him with my Sprite Dragon. The Fatal Push is better than a random card, and it seems like Vision is just going to cycle here for the most part. What makes Jailer so good? Dredge is like an unwinnable matchup without Jailer, so it's good to play a card for the unwinnable matchup, I think. Man, Lurrus in the hand is going to be tough to beat, huh? I guess I'll just put Lurrus in my hand, actually. You could maybe play Leyline instead and then lose Lurrus post board, but I don't know. I think Jailer is great. Jailer like dodges Nature's Claim, which is huge. Jailer is just like the black Rest in Peace that doesn't turn off Drowned Catacomb into the story, and I don't know why more decks don't play Jailer. Jailer is just really good in black decks and in decks in general. Super underplayed card in my opinion. It's just the black Rest in Peace. Bauble now because I have Force of Negation in my deck. They have an Archive Trap on top, so I don't know if we're super dead. If they've flooded out a bit, I guess we know they're 2 cards exactly. They're both Ancestral Vision. But if they can't, I guess they can turn it on, huh? With Vista, Field of Ruin, and they have the second crab too. Okay, we are super dead this game. We can't one-shot them, can we? Probably not. You get to put 2 dragons in play. Can put 3 dragons into play if they milled over another one. Okay, if we're gonna, they did definitely mill over another one. We're gonna have to one-shot them, which I don't think we can do. Yeah, especially not with that. Game 3. Yeah, Jailer is also better with Unearth Kolaghan's command. Yeah, I don't know. Jailer is super underplayed. Jailer is maybe in without sounding too clickbaity, Jailer is probably in like the top 5 most underplayed modern cards. I mean, you could bring in Tail's End. I think it's like worse than every other card, but you could bring it in. Probably a keep. I don't know. Nah, no Sprite Dragon, no removal for a crab. Are there any other decks besides Dredge Jailer comes in against? Like Crabvine, but it's just Dredge. But that being said, Dredge is kind of popular right now. It's definitely a deck if you have like an unwinnable matchup without Graveyard Hate, you should have Graveyard Hate for it. Where Dredge is unwinnable, I think, without 3 Jailers in the sideboard for this deck. I don't have the rest of the list for you. I do not currently have the whole top 5 most underplayed modern cards. I don't have that list ready to go, but if I was making that list, I do think that Jailer would be on it. Please tell you Dragonlord Ojutai is the most top 5 underplayed cards in Modern. I will, because you've redeemed the channel points option. Dragonlord Ojutai, maybe even the most underplayed card in Modern. Why not now Spellbomb before Jailer? It synergizes with Lurrus, and Drown isn't like a good dredge card either. Drown is good against dredge. Drown is like 2 mana counter spells are good against dredge, or at least they're like something you want in the matchup. And Jailer is better against dredge. Jailer is much better against dredge even than Drown is, or than Spellbomb. And so if you have Drowns in your deck, you don't want to bring in Spellbomb in matchups like Shadow or Jund as incidental graveyard hate, because they turn off your Drowns, they turn off your Into the Story. And at that point, it's just not worth it to have. It's not worth it to have. I'm going to draw 2 here, even though like this is my only counterspell for Lurrus. Well, we have a lot of counterspells for Lurrus in our deck, although those are lands. If they tap out for Lurrus, I guess I'm going to Cling to Dust their Crab. I lost my train of thought. You don't want to bring in Spellbomb in the fair matchups anyways, because you have Drowns and Into the Stories. So at that point, if you're not bringing in Spellbomb in the fair matchups, so you're only bringing them in against Dredge, have the better sideboard card against Dredge, which is Jailer. I really just feel like people underrate Jailer so much. It's like it's just not a card you see in Modern that often, and it's just the black Rest in Peace that doesn't like turn off most of like Black's graveyard cards. Tell you Tireless Tracker is bad. Sure. Tracker is bad. Terrible card. Tell me why sliding out Reality Smashers for challenging monsters is anti-Blood Moon Tech and Eldrazi is what people should do. I don't think I need to tell you. I think you've already completely understood that that is the best plan. How did I even find Jailer? I don't know. I mean, people have played it. It's not like I was the first person to ever sideboard Jailer. It's just not a card that you see in sideboards that often, and is just constantly great. It doesn't turn off your own cards that care about graveyards. It shuts down Dredge completely. It doesn't get hit by Nature's Claim. It's 2 mana. It's just so good. The card is so good. So play it. So my opponent has a lot of removal in their hand. They have 2 pushes and a Lull Mage's Domination. Yeah, I mean, even like Rest in Peace wasn't good enough against Hogak either. Like turn 2 Rest in Peace was way too slow, but it did dodge Force of Vigor. It actually was a really good sideboard card against Hogak, but just like nothing was good against Hogak, you know. But it was better than Rest in Peace in that format. Well, they can still cast Hogak from the hand, I guess. I don't think they have Unearth, but I think I'll get the orb just in case. We know my opponent has another Fatal Push in their hand. I guess I'm gonna still cast it and just like protect it with a Hardcast Force. Flooding out a bit too much this game. So they're bouncing their Arboro to turn on Revolt for Fatal Push. I'll Hardcast Force, I think. They can't Lull Mage's Domination my Lurrus. Isn't it better to wait till Lurrus will give you some value? I mean, I think just sitting and doing nothing is not good. I need to pressure my opponent. That being said, Lurrus is likely to give me value at some point, so I could see that line. There are pros and cons to both. Like they're Drowned and the Lochs are not on. We get to counter the second Fatal Push we know about. If they have a third Fatal Push, it is bad for us. They can't cast the Lull Mage's Domination we know about. This is likely to make them pick up their Arboro and set them back a land. But like a burn opponent, you need to kill them. You need to kill them. They have the inevitability, so we need to putting some pressure into play. I think is worth it. Why not wait a turn and snap Cling behind Lurrus? I don't know what you're saying. You're saying not exile the Snapcaster with the Cling? Maybe. I don't know. I think just It's kind of easy to say don't cling to dust when you know you're not you're just drawing lands. But using 4 mana there when you have the opportunity, exiling your own graveyard, drawing a card seems way better. They're going to make a card that gives you lands when you need them and doesn't when you don't. Yes, they're going to make those cards. Do you mean they're going to make them? That mitigating mana screw and mana flood definitely hasn't been the main focus of the last 3 years of set mechanics. But they also like made exactly those cards. Do you think Jailer is pretty good in pretty much any black deck that needs graveyard hate, or would like control decks not play it, or is not as many? This is a control deck that is playing it. Yeah, and I will say that I think that Jailer is probably the best graveyard hate outside of like, if you don't want to play like the 4 sideboard graveyard hate cards like for Leyline, it's the best option you have available to you. Right. Feels bad. Whatever, I suppose. I think I want to fetch and pass because of trap. We know that they have low mages domination and I believe 3 ends. Cling to dust is going to be good. What's our overall record today? I don't know. I probably should know. We went 1-2 drop after getting a little unlucky. I feel like we beat Heliod game 1 and they choked us games 2 and 3 and then got a little unlucky against Tron. Then we 4-1 the last league and now we're 2-0. So 7 and 4. No, 7-3. 7-3. Yeah. Do donos have to be fully made, or can we do ideas archetypes? So if you want to do an archetype, like say, hey, play Esper Control, that can be like the $40 option. I do offer I'll build you a deck for $50 option. But that one's usually like build around this card. If you want to say, hey, play John, play Esper Control, play this archetype, I do them for $40. That being said, we're not doing dono decks this week. If you donate, it'll be in the queue for next week. But also if you donate and you think it's for this week somehow, despite not hearing me right now, then I'll refund you. But we're not doing any donos this week because of the Strixhaven release. I think I'm supposed to cling to dust my own cards in yard here. What did I target? I've called out 16 months. Thank you for your continued support. I am targeting Polluted Delta. What are the chances I play Cat Herd this deck? I need more quality meme content. Well, I guess my heart hurts that you think the deck is a meme, but I'll probably play some of it. Yeah, I think the deck's good. Would I do a cheap donut day for a streamer showcase? No. Honestly, and I say this with complete humility, I feel like my prices are low already. Maybe I don't say it with complete humility, but like I definitely could raise my prices and still fill up the dono weeks, but I don't because I think this is a good price point for people, you know. For people's standard brew, I would also definitely not. I would certainly not lower my prices for standard because I don't want to play standard on stream. If anything, it would be higher. Which is also said with complete love and humility, you know. I'm targeting Drowned Catacombs. Alright, we need to draw an Unearth or a Sprite Dragon before we die, but triple Drown is a great hand. There we go. We haven't died yet, so this is a good draw. Doing Dono's standard historic decks would be a good way to build a collection. Just to add an arena text for a wild card. Yeah, it would be a good way to build an arena collection while losing half my viewers. Can you imagine how, like, I would, if I was going to be streaming Spike Grinds Arena for wild cards, it'd be like, I think I'd be lucky to have 300 viewers, you know? Would I play a Pioneer Dono deck? Yeah. It really depends on the deck, like every Dono does, but I do play Pioneer Donos. Yeah, not even half. I don't know. It seems like some people have the mindset that streaming is just, I'm just playing games. I mean, is that to some extent, but it's not like you don't just walk in and you stream any game you're playing and people come, you know. You have to put, like, I put a lot of time and effort and thought into the decks I play. I do a lot of prep work to try to, like, make the deck list real good and tuned and interesting and exciting. And at least my approach to streaming has not been, I'm going to play standard today, I'm going to play modern today, you know. So it's a lot of effort, at least on my end. You know what I mean? Kind of stinks that we can't cling to dust here. However, if my opponent counters back, we can cling to dust. Is Pioneer a real format? Like, how popular is it? I mean, what is a real format? How do you answer that question? Yeah, I do a ton of I even do, like, brewing off stream, like a ton of brewing off stream that people would watch. People would definitely watch because I think it's less than good stream content. When my opponent's domination does cost 5 mana here, so we should be able to drown it without them having a counter up. Yeah, people would watch me brew, but ultimately I think, like, playing, like, completely untested brews off stream, although I do make some exceptions, but like, regularly testing just completely untested brews on stream would be bad for the channel overall, which is why I don't do it. I want to leave at least the Sprite Dragon in the yard. I think I'm going to go target their domination, exile 2 Drowns, Lurrus, Bolt Charm in our hand. In your opinion, how much does Clever Lumimancer, Dying Turn and 6, and Dart damping it? I like a little bit, but I think the card's still very good. Like it having 1 toughness makes it a balanced Magic card, you know? It's not broken because it has 1 toughness and 0 power. Maybe if you restrict the times you stream it. Well, that's the thing too. It's like, if you're ever, like, dedicating a certain part of your stream schedule to something you think is suboptimal, like if you know you're diminishing the quality of your normal stream, I also think that's not worth it, you know? It's just better to stream the good stuff, I think. I think we have too many islands for Kroxa, but, like, Kroxa is definitely a card to consider, of course. And, you know, even it doesn't matter how much energy you have, there is just diminishing returns. At a certain point, like, you will become burned out and tired, and the quantity of your stream will be over. You know, you just won't be, you know, putting out good content. Sorry, the dog's barking outside. It's hard to think straight. Three 3-0. We're 3-0 last league, and then we flooded out really bad against Esper. You can redeem a deck tech if the channel point option is still there. I don't know if it is. Name names, but I get those requests, and I think that it wouldn't be a big deal. It wouldn't be a big deal to take those sponsorship opportunities. But ultimately, any decision that I make that I feel like when I make this call, I'm taking an L. If it's worse for the stream, if this stream's quality is worse. If taking sponsorships for games or sponsorships that are just for the money, and they're sponsorships that I don't really care about or believe in, and like I think that diminishes the stream quality, and any decision that diminishes that is not a decision I'm willing to make, you know. It's not a direction I'm willing to go in. Because really all I care about is making the stream as good as I possibly can make it, and growing it as much as I can, and, you know, succeeding in this Twitch landscape. Oh, dude, we're playing against Esper again. Same thing, last league, 3-0 play against Esper. And that's all I care about. I'll keep Steam Vents on top. Have I considered writing a frequently asked or commands? I mean, we have commands for most of these questions. It's just like I've said this. If you as a chatter are annoyed with people asking the same questions, I encourage you to type in the command for me. But I also don't want to just be sitting typing commands myself the whole stream. I'd rather just talk and talk about the ones I want to talk about and not talk about the ones I don't. Thank you for the donation, Nox, for the, you know, I don't know what to call it. Thank you for the kind words. Do I have a brew built around the mutate mechanic? No, honestly, the mutate mechanic is my least favorite mechanic of all time. I really dislike the mutate mechanic. So if I cast Archmage's Charm, I have to go to discard. I think I'll just hold. Worse than sub games? Yes, sub games are actually kind of cool. I, as someone who plays Magic the Gathering for a living and plays Magic the Gathering nonstop, and has played Magic the Gathering for like 8 or 9 years now, nonstop. And I'm not saying I'm very smart, and I'm not saying I'm whatever. I am saying I had a really hard time understanding what mutate did. And it took me many times reading it to understand what mutate did. And even then, it's like still unintuitive, I think. And I just know that if I'm having a hard time with it, other players are too, you know? Especially like a new players. I think new players, if they have a grasp on the rules of the game, should be able to read any card and understand what it does. I don't feel like that is true of mutate. Yeah, I understand that if you play with mutate on Arena a few times, you'll get how it works, but I don't think that that's good design. But it was very clearly made with Arena in mind, which I also think is a bad thing. To make a mechanic that just like, this is good if you play with it on Arena a few times, you'll get how it works. Bummer. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Mana Traders, but yeah, I think mutate is my least favorite mechanic of all time. And I'm not just, this is not the, crap on mutate stream, but I think it was my least favorite mechanic ever. They have a Logic Knot on top, which is so good against our Drown. But not everybody knows to play around Drown. I like Companions too. I say this with no hint of irony. Companion is one of my favorite mechanics ever. I love Companion. I still do. So maybe that gives you a hint of like, what crappy opinions I have, I guess. Honestly, if like Lurrus and Yorion didn't exist, you might not have had a Companion errata. Although you would have had you would have the Bank Guy Ruta and Zerda. So we're gonna force here over Logic Knot because my opponent, or so over Drown because our opponent has Drown in the lock, or so they have Logic Knot, and they are not super likely to just play around Drown with the Logic Knot here. Although if they're really smart, they will. Yeah, they're really smart. Congrats, opponent. But it's just so bad if we go Drown and they get to Logic Knot and counter the Drown effectively. And then like counter all future Drowns by exiling their graveyard. Maybe my logic there was off. Seems like a tough matchup. Maybe. We played against it earlier. It was our one loss last league was Esper. We played against it and we won game 1 and we got super flooded games 2 and 3, where like we were very ahead in games 2 and 3 and we got flooded and lost. So I don't know. I think the matchup's like probably in their favor, but not by a ton. I could be wrong. We're doing top 5 worst mechanics. Does Megamorph make the list? Probably, yeah. You know, it's people. One of my least favorite questions are, what are your top 5 X or Y? Because I just have to come up with a whole YouTube clickbait video on the spot. But if we were going to do that for fun, and it can be fun. I just like I'm not that fast of a thinker. I would say Mutate's like my least favorite. Megamorph is a mechanic I dislike as well. Sprite Dragon worth it? Worth what? Sprite Dragon is great, though. Sprite Dragon is great in the deck. But I don't know what worth 2 mana, worth this matchup. You can never side them out in this matchup because you have to kill your opponent. Oh, I also think you're supposed to choose to be on the draw. But worth what? Worth the splash. I don't know. If you're gonna be straight blue-black, I think that you need to play. I don't think you can play Lurrus because you just don't have enough win conditions. Maybe you can play like 3 Creeping Tar Pits or something, but those aren't even like good win conditions to lean on. I just don't think you have enough win conditions if you play just Lurrus. So if you're blue-black, you need to play Typhoon and Jace. If you're Sultai, you get to play Tarmogoyf. If you're Grixis, you get to play Sprite Dragon, which is better than Tarmogoyf, but you also lose Ice Fang. Kind of the problem. Yeah, I mean, blue-black could play Delver, I guess, with 0, you know, 0 caps. Yeah, when I was first reading Mutate, just like the concept of putting a card beneath another card, that's the only time it's ever been phrased that way, right? It was such a foreign concept to me, and it still kind of is. And for them to just like write that on the card, you put it underneath or on top, it's just such a weird line of text that isn't explained in the reminder text really, or at least explained very well. I guess this is just to crap on Mutate the whole stream. Alright, still waiting, I think. Like, we could have just, like, snapped Cling to Dust to cycle. But we have land drops to hit. I think we're doing okay just passing back. Alright, I'm gonna go snap Opt, I'll snap Cling. You tried mixing it with Invisible Stalker and Geist of St. Trapped in a Bant Shell was too all in. With Mutate, yeah. I mean, Mutate was never intended to be a modern mechanic, but I think, who knows what they intend. I could put Lurrus in my hand here. I think it's okay to do this here. With Force of Negation and Drown, it's really unlikely they can resolve something on their turn. They probably will get to resolve, like, you know, Snapcaster, Archmage's Charm, or something like that here. Do I snap Cling to Dust Opt? I don't think so. It's like kind of likely they get to win the fight, and it also means we definitely lose a fight over a Planeswalker on their turn. It's pretty bad for us if they have Esper Charm, but they don't. Maybe this matchup is just terrible. Could definitely see that being the case. It felt like we definitely just got flooded to lose the other game. But that doesn't mean the matchup's not bad. So it looks like they have Snap Push, which I'll try to answer with a Snap Clean. So now I think I'm going to drown the Fatal Push. It will stink if we have to pitch the Into the Story to force, but it's not like Into the Story is close to costing 4 mana this game. It does stink, of course, if they have Planeswalker plus protection counterspell, but I don't think that we're going to be able to beat that this game anyway. That's one half of the not going to be able to beat that equation, I suppose. Here's the other half. Although, it's possible we might be able to beat Teferi. We're gonna have to draw something. Yeah, like Bauble lets us double trigger here. We can also get back Sprite Dragon. Or Snap Cling or something. If they also have a removal spell here, that's not remotely beatable. They have Esper Charm to make me discard my hand. They have Click. Okay, Click, take my Lurrus. It's maybe beatable to draw a removal spell for Click. Still can because we have the Cling. So we go... I mean, by removal spell, I guess I mean exactly Drown, right? There's a Sprite Dragon on top. I think I'm going to shuffle. Alright, we're at 7 life. They might just not block, attack me for 7, but then I can go Cling to Dust on my own Snapcaster Mage here. Kill the Teferi and then not die. Or hopefully not die. Ideally not die. Oh no, I need to keep the stop there. No, I'm just like giving them a window to draw a counter spell, but should have had the stop in the upkeep, but whatever, just casting it now. So if that was their draw for the turn, got pretty punished. Can never know for sure. Tough games well played by our opponent. 4-1 the last league. Let's see if we can get some pair of 4-1s to close out the day on. Feed our prediction addiction. Do not, my friends, become addicted to channel point predictions. You will grow to resent their absence. That's the line, right? Oh, cool, Titan. Haven't played the Titan matchup yet. I'm assuming this is Titan at least. There's a Polluted Delta on top, which I do not want. It is not Titan. It's Twiddlestorm. I haven't seen Twiddlestorm in so long. How about Young Pyro for the control matchups? Young Pyro doesn't beat the control matchups because they leave in a bunch of fatal pushes anyway. I think it's just okay. I don't think that you're supposed to have a dedicated sideboard card for control with our deck. Oh, we drew another land off Bauble. Oh, okay, spell. I don't think you're supposed to play a dedicated card for the control matchups. Like even like if you play 2 Young Pyromancer, it's not like all of a sudden your control matchup is good. It's maybe a little bit better, but I think it's fine. Just like just outplay them. Just outplay them. It should be your... Just gonna let that resolve since they have to discard 3 cards, obviously. Oh, let's sorry, let's let this resolve because they could discard Passion Flame. They discard 2 Passion Flames. Yikes. Unlucky, maybe? Maybe not. I was probably supposed to play a fetch. What is this card? This is Entwine for 2 mana to tap and untap a permanent. Spike because of the spiky hair, yeah. That's why. Only reason. Looks like they're just going for Passion Flames, which you should be able to counter. Just counter unless they pay 2, right? No, they could have a Twiddle to play at instant speed. Guess we're kind of cold to that anyway. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna exile the Cling. I think just if they Twiddle, they have 4 mana. Yeah, I'm gonna play around. I'm gonna play around a Twiddle here by exiling 4. Leave this in the yard for Lurrus, of course. My opponent's playing Twiddle Storm. It's a deck that uses Twiddle effects. Specifically, there's one that is an arcane spell, so you can splice it onto Ideas Unbound and the like, and generates, you know, storm and mana that way, and goes off with Passion Flames. Well, I think they only play 2 Passion Flames, and I think they might be out. It is a lot harder for them to go off without it. Although sometimes they play Underworld Breach. I actually think Underworld Breach is kind of nuts in their deck and a little underplayed. In fact, Underworld Breach might be better than Passion Flames. I'm not sure. They reveal another Ideas Unbound. They have a Lonely Sandbar to play, so we get to cycle on Unearth. It's an interesting draw. Another interesting draw. But despite all of our interesting draws, let's just put Lurrus in the hand with Drown up. Do I ever analyze the games when I played in tournament in retrospect? Sometimes, not very often. It's not a regular thing I do, for sure. But I have done it. Is Underworld Breach a top 5 underplayed card in Twiddle Storm? Definitely. Maybe in Modern too. I think I do feel that Twiddle Storm is, you know, wildly underplayed. We're supposed to let this resolve and then counter the first Twiddle. They've already played a land. So this way they just definitely fizzle, and then they have to discard 3 cards on their instep. So if they draw another Ideas Unbound, they can technically win. But now that we've drawn a 2-mana counter spell, we could just go... Oh no, I exiled the Cling to Dust. Sorry, I thought I could go Snap Cling. Well, tap the land for no reason, I guess. They conceded. Okay. Okay, cool. Winning game 1, despite it looking like we might flood out earlier. We can Tails in their Lotus Field trigger. That's gotta be good, right? Bring in the Thoughtseizes, cut the pushes, the bolts. I think we probably... I don't know if they bring in empty, but they probably should, you know? They probably should, so if I think that they should, I'll bring in the explosives, I guess. Can play 1 Gust. Nobody's allowed to tell me that Spellbomb would be better than Jailer right now, because while they're not wrong, nobody is supposed to be prepping for Twiddle Storm right now. More relevant, you can Tails in a Storm Trigger. Yeah, but they can just like Pass in Flames it back, you know. I don't think you're supposed to play. Mulligan then. Too many threats, not enough interaction. Gotta wait till end of turn against the tap Steam Vents. Would have been a big mistake if they had played it first. So this should get them their, yeah, or I mean they tutored up Dreams Grip. Are they not playing the Arcane Splice Twiddle? Why would you ever get Dreams Grip instead of the Arcane one? I guess Dreams Grip can tap one of my lands? I guess that's the reasoning. Still, though. It's a good draw. Yeah, Jailer doesn't beat Past in Flames because of layers. If you're ever unsure of how something works in Magic, just go at layers, I think. And then your Twitch chat will say, yeah, I think it's layers. And then you'll look to your neighbor and you'll say layers, and they'll go, yeah, sounds right. Timestamps. Timestamps? Double Dragon, huh? Do you just want to jam Double Dragon? If we're going to play one, we should play both. If we're going to play one, we should play both because they have the Dreams Grip. This is fine. We have Force of Negation. We could definitely die, but if we don't, we're alive. They are playing Psychic Puppetry. I'm gonna force. That's the card, Psychic Puppetry. By the way. They Dreams Grip in response. They Psychic Puppetry in response. They let Force Resolve. Sleight of hand. 3 red mana for Grape Shot. Well, my Sprite Dragon's dying is better than me dying. I guess don't tell Sprite Dragon I said that. Yeah, the Twiddle Storm deck is like definitely confusing to explain. I do understand how it works, or I think I do. Could be wrong. Black mana? No! Oh my god. Do I just enter the story? Draw 4 and just discard 1,000,000? Whatever, I guess. Need to keep all creatures and lands I draw. And Bauble. It's actually not so bad. 6 mana discard 3. Although you actually wait, is it non-creature? Oh, it is. I lose the Bauble too, and also my Snapcasters are worse because they exile all the cards. Okay, it is so bad. I've done the math. It's so bad. But the last card is the whatever. We've run the numbers and it is so bad. The last card's the Psychic Puppetry. So they do need the top deck here. We have a. Wait, I actually think we're gonna win this game somehow. Yeah, I mean, we could have just been dead that one turn. Yeah, imagine getting to Veil of Summer Thought Distortion. That'd be so sick. So Psychic Puppetry, mystery card, Reach Through Mists, which is another. Okay, well that lets them actually start to train, huh? I mean, we're not. We have to Lurrus here. Question is, oh man, opponent's not making it easy on me, huh? All right, I'm gonna hope they can't go off. There's the card underneath Psychic Puppetry has to be a good one. I think we're supposed to keep Lurrus. So they have so many sickos though. They have Psychic Puppetry. They're drawing this, which is basically, make 1 mana draw card is the top card. So if they have underneath that a card advantage spell, like the draw 3, specifically the draw 3, they can win. We can also draw Force of Negation, but we don't. So they get their make 1 mana draw card. No way. Yeah, Ideas Unbound is the best card possible underneath. The best possible. Could have just played around it, but I think it's better to just jam the Lurrus, honestly. They're still not even like that. Like I guess they're pretty likely to kill actually. Thought Distortion, huh? Maybe they'll cast another Thought Distortion. Psychic Puppetry, Splicing, Psychic Puppetry. So they definitely have Past in Flames in their hand. Alright. We're dead. Going to game 3. Could have played around them top decking the Ideas Unbound by just letting the Pact of Negation resolve, but I think the line we took. Thought Distortion, baby. I think if your opponent gets to cast Thought Distortion against you, they're just supposed to win. They're just supposed to. Yeah, turn 2 Sprite Dragon on the play is definitely something we want here. Just because they really can't go off until turn 3. Am I sad, happy, or indifferent losing to off-meta decks? Well, I guess I'm never happy losing to any deck, but I'm never happy to take an L, but I don't really care, I guess. Indifferent. Drown is also really good in this. I don't know. I don't really feel like I get salty losing to anything. Just part of the game. Maybe sometimes, but I don't care. No land. So they almost definitely have Lotus Field. But what's so crazy good for us here is that if they do find a land, which they should have because they put a card on top, we get to, when they play a land next turn, it's going to be Lotus Field, and we'll get to bounce a land in response to the Lotus Field trigger, and they have to sack the Lotus Field. I think I am going to just take a 1-for-1 here, just so they don't assemble like maybe instant speed twiddle plus protection. Oh wow, I should have played this dragon maybe. No, but they kept Serum Visions on top. I guess this was definitely a possibility. I just thought for sure that they kept a land on top, but they kept Serum Visions on top. Definitely going to just Cryptic their island. A bit of a bummer, honestly, that we're, maybe not going to have a game here. They might just concede to this if they don't have a dispute. They do have a dispute. Maybe. Oh, wait. Why would they not main phase that? Why would you... In what world do you not main phase that? Yeah, no, I think it's just like honest. I don't think there's any world where you're not supposed to just cycle and try to. Like there might be cards that they have that, like there might be a card that they're like that's why they chose not to, but I don't think there's a card that actually makes it a correct decision for them to hold it. And now I don't think they can win. They just can't win until they have. I guess they can play Lotus Field and then twiddle it. They can actually win, but it's really hard. It's like maybe not. It's not possible, but I feel like it's possible in theory. But with the Force and the Drown. Cool. So we 4-1 to back-to-back leagues here after going 1-2 drop. I know that everybody's waiting for my answer. Do I feel like this deck is better than Sultai? And maybe. I have a lot of more matches under my belt with Sultai than this Grixis variant of the deck, although I have played decks like this. Usually, like, I just go a little lower to the ground and play just Dragon, but this variant felt pretty good to me. I'll actually say that this deck felt better than Sultai, but it was certainly very close. But just something about just like the combination of Sprite Dragon and Bolts, it makes me think that this is the better of the two decks, but it's very close and I could be wrong. I could change my mind. Okay. Thank you everybody for tuning in today. Just a couple of quick things.